I'm Shannon Miller with the Miller Edge Law Firm. I want to talk about Medicare and some of the options that become available to you when you turn 65, and actually sometimes before the age of 65 if you're disabled. So let's start off talking about what almost 50% of you have, which is a Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare Advantage plans are great options if you don't get sick and if you want to stay in the network that's available to you. And I would encourage people, as you decide whether or not to sign up for a Medicare Advantage plan, even though there are a lot of people out there pushing them, really look at the coverage and look at the network and make sure that it's a good fit for you. And if you are well and you plan to be well for the rest of your life and you can somehow guarantee that for yourself, Medicare Advantage plans may be a good call. However, most of us eventually get sick and that's when a Medicare Advantage plan can be very difficult. Traditional Medicare is more expensive. We know that. It's really the supplemental plan that you get, and I think this is important. Supplemental plans will cover certain things that Medicare does not cover. And so what we know when you have a Medicare Advantage plan is that when you go back to traditional Medicare, you'll be able to get your Medicare back, but the supplemental plan will become very expensive because they're allowed to do a medical exam. So, if you're sick and you're like, oh, now I want my old Medicare coverage back, that will come back to you, but it's the supplemental plan that becomes sometimes even impossible to get because it's so expensive. So, Medicare Advantage plans, it's so challenging as well because a lot of things end up not getting covered under these plans. So we may have someone who needs to have a procedure done and they deny the coverage. And the appeals process under the Medicare Advantage plans is not great. We've really had a lot of problems with the due process, the procedures for appealing a Medicare Advantage denial. So, and we know that that's happening not just in Florida, but really across the country. And we're trying to get better processes and procedures for appealing these decisions. Now, I will say, with regard to our 100-day issues, so when you're in a hospital for 72 hours and you're discharged to a rehab facility, you have up to 100 days. And I encourage you to watch our other video on your entitlement to the 100 days. Remember, the standard is the therapy you're receiving either keeping you in a consistent status or not making you decline? The standard is not, is the therapy making you improve? That is not the standard. So go look at that other video about the 100 days and the standard for you continuing to qualify for your 100 days. But for purposes of this video, I just want to be clear, Medicare Advantage can work for people who never get sick. And over half of you have them. So be careful if you don't have one, or if you're well and you're like, ooh, maybe I should switch back while I'm still healthy. It might be worth taking another look at these plans. So I'm Shannon Miller with the Miller Elder Law Firm. Thanks for listening.